Right, there we go then. First Skype podcast. Probably not the last, depending on how this goes. Oh, what a few weeks. I think it's been a few weeks anyway. Time moves sort of differently at the moment. But how has everyone been?
Getting by. I mean, a lot of drink, a lot of films. Trying to get through it really, but I mean, I'm productive doing YouTube. It's all going all right. Hopefully, it'll blow over soon.
Yeah. How about you, Jack? How you been doing?
Well, as I told you the other day, I lost my job a couple of weeks before quarantine started.
Damn.
So I've been just trying to survive really. I did recently get myself a new job. It's very much a 0-hour contract, but it's stacking shelves at various supermarkets around the lovely city of Norwich.
Fair.
Which I've got to say, it's been very nice walking around and getting some fresh air, to be honest. So that is one of the many one of the few positives, I suppose.
Well, no, but that's the thing, because I'm essentially doing the same thing at the moment. So my job, I didn't lose my job, but at the same time, they told me to go home and there's no work to do at the moment. So I'm, in a supermarket as well. It's not amazing, but at the same time, it's an excuse to go out every day.
Exactly.
To not go stir crazy inside. Because I mean, this is sort of the thing. I've because I live with a couple of housemates. It's one of those times I'm actually quite thankful I don't live with my family, like with the nicest will in the world. Because I feel we'd be at each other's throats by now. Whereas I feel you can keep up a lot more distance with just mates, if that makes sense.
Definitely, everyone has their own kind of boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. But also, someone else someone else I'm living with as well is like a bus driver, so they're still working as well.
Yeah.
In some capacity. But there are people I've been speaking to who are going pretty stir crazy right now. Cooped up inside. There are people who are already breaking, and it's one of those things that I keep trying to say, look, with regards to the lockdown, this is the bit that you should be enjoying, if anything, as much as you can, because what comes after is going to be pretty bad, in terms of economically, and just socially. So yeah, to be honest, look, the weather's nice at the moment. If you've got a garden, or if you've got some woodland nearby, I went to the woods this morning. It was amazing. It's enjoy that stuff while you can.
Yeah,
you gotta be productive.
Going outside's the best thing.
Yeah, man. It's while you still can as well, because we don't know how much further this is going to go as well in terms of lockdown.
A lot longer than people think.
I don't just mean length. I mean in terms of measures as well. Are we going to be stopped from doing exercise? I don't think so. It doesn't look that way, but you never know, really.
I mean, we've all got a personal space. We've all got, aspects to where we live to, be more active and do things. It's just a case of it's the social part of that. It's being interactive with people that's going to be cut off. It's there's more individual kind of social aspects that are there, but not communicative. But I think we're adapting now. It's just obviously how long is this going to last? And
I think the British can take to self-isolation and self-quarantine quite well, because 9 times out of 10 we don't like other people touching us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, lots of us have been preparing for this anyway. So
I know that in the first few weeks, and even now, it hasn't impacted me in a crazy way. In that I'm doing things that differently. The main thing that in my small world that it impacts is going to the supermarket. What
Yeah.
a tricky experience it is.
It's terrible.
It's
so uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, so I kind of got lucky recently with again, I think we also have to look at the fact we three in particular, we live in sort of areas where there have been cases, but like it strangely hasn't hit that hard where I am at the moment.
Same.
It has enough to be an issue, but it's not like, I mean, thank God I don't live in London or like the Midlands or one of these areas that are absolutely chocker. But yeah, I mean, like supermarket wise, so I got kind of lucky on Sunday. I went at about 11:30 on a Sunday, and it just happened to be sort of quiet. So I think I got the timing really right, because it was like after that initial open where everyone's like queuing outside, to a bit where it sort of dies down, and then you could sort of tell it's going to pick back up again in the afternoon. But no, I was able to get all the stuff I needed really. No pasta, but I have pasta at the house. But other stuff, milk, bread, eggs, all of that, I was able to get all of that. So I'm not worried in terms of like supply chains. There's nothing wrong with the supply chains. I mean, that's a point a lot of people have been trying to make this whole time. It's like, look, there's no shortages. There's only immediate shortages in the shops. And if you work in a shop like I do as well, like you realize like you're getting all these deliveries and you're getting like new stock, and you're like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the supply chains. It's just people taking too much at once.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's even toilet roll in the shop where I'm working.
There is toilet roll. The
Makes a
toilet roll
change.
situation is absolutely fine.
Mm.
Like, it's low, but it's manageable, and I think we're all good. We're all good for toilet roll, aren't we?
I'm good for toilet roll. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I mean, it started bad, I guess, because everyone was, flocking, especially around here. I found there was a lot of people,
Jono,
taking a lot off themselves. But
as well.
What was that?
Didn't your mum do some panic buying at one point as well?
No.
I thought she did. I thought you said that she got loads of toilet roll and stuff.
No.
I think there's a difference
we did
between panic buying and just a bit of stockpiling, though. Like, to be honest, because I think buying just a little bit extra, because you're going to have to limit the amount of times you go down to the shop. So I think buying a little bit extra is fine. And to be fair, like most of the sales in like supermarkets have pretty much shown that anyway, that most people are just they're just buying a little bit extra, like you would, I don't know, over Christmas or something like that, where the shops are going to be shut.
So it's the necessities, really. Keeping on top of that, and not, branching too much into unnecessary things and doing too much of that. But yeah, at the minute, I don't think there's a huge deal with that. I think it obviously in London, and like you said, other areas it may be a bit worse, but I think we've got the stock at the minute to keep on top of it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I'm really glad I live in a little town in Essex rather than London, a borough in London. I know people in London, and what they're describing at the moment. It's again, that's probably varies borough to borough, time to time, but it doesn't sound great, especially supermarket situation. It's like always busy, from what I've been told. But yeah, like I say, it's a matter of time really, and waiting it out. I'm interested to know what people have sort of been up to like during this time as well. Like personally, I found it kind of difficult to be as productive as I usually am. I mean, like creatively, writing or doing videos or anything like that, than I was when I was at work. Because I think there was a good balance when I was at work. Come home, get some ideas down, and then like with a day off, then I'd be, I don't know, writing or drawing or doing something else. At the moment, I don't know, it feels a bit of a slump.
Do you think it's an energy thing, like having the energy? Because I found I've been getting up a lot later.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been getting up later. I do still try to set alarms to make sure that even if I'm getting up a bit later, I'm still getting a certain amount of sort of like 8 hours or something like that. But because I don't want to feel sluggish throughout the day, I'm trying to keep on top of things. Like I think it's the lack of routine. I think because all of my sort of natural routines have been messed about. I think that's it's sort of thrown me off a bit. So I'm still trying to do stuff like exercise and, just in the mornings, and then I don't know. But to be honest, at the moment, I'm mainly just watching television. I'm not gonna lie.
So,
I have stopped watching the news as much though, which I think was mainly for my own sanity.
I can't trust the news at all. I don't. They perpetuate everything.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
bolster it up. It's
But also, I think you just need to disengage from that at some point. Not like entirely, and just like be in denial, but like just constantly, like for the first couple of weeks of this, not just lockdown, like the crisis. I was constantly glued to the television, looking at like all the different news outlets, what's going on here, what's going on here, and then like other people online, like YouTubers, with different takes on it. I'm quite obsessive with like information. I need as much as possible, but then it comes a point where it's just like you're right. It perpetuates the problem.
for sure. Yeah, it's I mean, in this time, I think you were talking about what have we been up to.
Yeah.
I was kind of lucky before this all started because I'd already come back to YouTube because I was doing YouTube a few years ago, and that was for gaming stuff. But obviously, over the years, I've got more into doing movie content and television content. So, before all of this stuff kicked off, I was, hard at work at trying to do more videos. But now, obviously, I've got more time to focus in on that. Obviously, the effects, like you were saying, of what's going on and stuff with getting up a bit earlier and doing, fixing your schedule and not breaking it apart. It's still, obviously, because I was doing videos, I'm in the mood of continuing doing content rather than, kind of leaving it behind. So I've been in a consistent way of keep uploading. But yeah, it still affects it. It's just I was lucky that I got back into that before this all started.
I think TV's our saviour, to be honest. It really is the thing that's stopping us all from going absolutely mental. Is the fact that we can still rely on the routine of waiting for a certain TV show to come out every week and be like, right, well, at least we can punctuate our week that way instead of just having to punctuate it by work. Which, is, to be honest, that's how I punctuate my weeks anyway.
I mean, it's difficult because I think a lot of shows now, a lot of stuff now is just on demand. Like, Netflix released a series. More often than not, it's like the whole series in one go. Yeah. And that is how I've spent a couple of days in lockdown already doing that. Yeah, I'm really glad things like Better Call Saul are still on a weekly basis. So there's still some semblance of like normalcy around that. I mean, when things like EastEnders and, is EastEnders still on? I know they were cancelled. Was only like twice a week now. It's not what?
It's not filming.
I know it's not filming, yeah. Even do you get this feeling now, like even watching stuff that was made before this, where like I don't know, it kind of looks weird. Like, I don't know if you're watching like a film or a TV show
connects to it,
where a load of people in the pub or something like that, and you're just thinking, those were the days, I feel like we're watching this all play out like from a bunker, like like war-torn Britain or something.
I've been watching a lot of Community recently, and I tell you, you could not make that in this day and age.
No.
7 people sitting around a table. You've got to be mad.
No more come dine with me.
No. Unless it's just 2 people that have been exposed to each other.
It's 2 people in the same household. It's just like a couple that just slowly hate each other more. It's like, I never liked your cooking in the first place.
Sounds like my parents.
It just gets angrier. It's like if Jack Torrance and Wendy Torrance did like Come Dine With Me.
There's an idea there.
There is an idea there. Okay, so yeah, let's think about that. When the films and TV shows and TV movies and whatever come out about the COVID-19 crisis, how's that going to look? I mean, first of all, I think we're going to have very different versions coming out of the East and the West. in terms of who was to blame.
Any elements of fantasy there? Do you reckon?
Oh yeah, I was also saying I imagine a kind of like Roland Emmerich being the first person to jump on this.
Yeah.
And it has to have like Dwayne the Rock Johnson as some like
The
I don't
day
know,
after months.
something like that. It's like a cop in retirement or something who has to go and like save the world, like when his daughter becomes infected with COVID-19 and he has to go find a cure.
Talking to my parents earlier about Mark Wahlberg. I reckon they do a film with him
Mark
afterwards.
Wahlberg, I'm here to find
They
a
do
cure.
like a
COVID-19.
Patriots Day type approach to it, and have Peter Berg directing.
A super intense like COVID-19 movie. Just Mark Wahlberg. It's just like a 90-minute film of him in a lab trying to find the cure to COVID-19. It's like, I don't understand why it's not working. Jesus Christ.
You've cast Dwayne Johnson. Jono's cast Mark Wahlberg.
I'd cast Peter Capaldi. I'd have
Peter
him in the
Capaldi.
thick of
It's
it.
just gonna rock up and save the world.
To be fair, I can see that. I can see him as like some sort of professor that gets increasingly angry as time goes on.
Well, he was Doctor Who. You just described his exact role in Doctor Who for 3 years.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Even better, he's got training.
Actually, have you seen well, quite apt at the moment. Have you seen World War Z or Z?
I have seen World War Z.
Briefly.
Peter Capaldi is in that film as a doctor for the World Health Organization.
Oh God.
Yeah, who are
WHO.
Who are going to be the bad guys in my film? So,
so you've already got one in pre-production, then.
Yeah, well, again, that's why we need to write it together. I think. Like, what's your dream? What's your dream casting for the COVID-19 movie? Or wait, do we have to decide on like a genre first? Like, if it's going to be straight up action film, if we're going to go kind of the Contagion route, where it's like,
that's what I was just going to say. Actually, yeah, Contagion. I think that's more likely, that kind of approach, if they did it. I mean, I doubt we'd have any, fantasy-esque and, different routes to it. I think it'd be more realistic if they did do an approach. But casting-wise, I mean, that's... Oof.
I mean, sometimes you can make a cast, and you can just make the movie from what you imagine them to be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 2 words here: Forrest Whitaker. I end my turn.
What's the guy from 24 who plays the president?
I thought it was Steve. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of because Stephen Fry was the Prime Minister, wasn't he, in 24 at one point?
Yeah, in
last season, yeah.
Oh, we need Stephen Fry in it at some point as well, because I want like loads of doctors from like different countries, and at one point they all have to meet up, and it's just like you got Stephen Fry from the UK, Morgan Freeman, the American like scientists and stuff. I don't know, Daniel Brawl from the German side.
Expand your worldview.
Yes.
I'm going to find out who that was, actually.
Daniel Brawl.
Daniel Brawl.
Isn't he the guy from Captain America: Civil War, the bad guy, and Inglourious Bastards?
William Devane, is that his name? I think.
William Devane. What, in Inglourious Bastards or in?
Oh no, I was talking about the president role.
The
guy in he's the president in Dark Knight Rises. On the TV screen.
It's been so long since I've watched it. Okay, now I'm going to have to rewatch the Dark Knight trilogy in lockdown, I think. It's a good idea. What would
I mean, it was voted the most rewatchable, but that was on Twitter.
So okay, yeah.
Really
well,
trust
Twitter,
anything on
that well of wisdom that Twitter is. What would Christopher Nolan's take on COVID-19
be? Oh God, that would be
it'd probably be a virus that was invented in the mind of the main character, played by Leonardo
No,
DiCaprio.
there would be some device. There would
I
be
think
some time
I think
travel
it'd go backwards.
involved.
We'd have to go backwards, wouldn't we? Like Memento. It starts with like
Trying to reverse COVID-19.
yes, that's it. Well, why do we link like Inception with Memento? So it all goes backwards. It's because they're reversing time. They're like, we've got to reverse time to the beginning of the pandemic and stop the guy eating the bat.
Don't eat that bat.
Don't eat that bat.
Just pay to DiCaprio, like, you know, a few extra 100 million, get him in.
And
Sorted.
Mark Wahlberg, of course.
Mark Wahlberg.
You eat that bat, I'm gonna kick your ass, okay?
It just gets to the end of the film and the guy in Wuhan just goes, "I'm Batman."
Oh my god. I can't wait till Hans Zimmer does the score for that. It's going to be so weird. I want like a sort of mix of kind of Oriental music thrown in there as well.
I think he'd go more Trent Reznor style.
Oh yeah, Trent Reznor. That's who I want doing the soundtrack to the COVID-19. That's who I want doing the soundtrack to the news right now. If we just had a Trent Reznor track, every news article right now.
Everyone would be shaking.
I know, like I'm already shaking, but like no, just like the news. I don't even think they do the weather anymore. It's just like, good morning, here's coronavirus, and here's how many people died.
This is why you need to have Jono's YouTube channel as your only follow, so that everything that comes up is just Better Call Saul review videos.
Or like Trump, doesn't he only follow like
Gotta keep it positive
on Twitter or something like?
No, he's the only channel I follow.
Only one, yeah. Okay. Let's try and pitch then the COVID-19 movie.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Let's do it. Okay. Who is our protagonist in this? I kind of don't want it to be. I don't want it to be like a scientist or anything. I want it to be like an everyday man. Kind of like, yeah. Again, like I'm thinking Brad Pitt in World War Z. Zed. It's just an everyday family man. You don't know nothing.
Bob
about
Odenkirk.
Huh?
Bob Odenkirk.
Yes. Okay. So we have Bob Odenkirk as our main character. Who is he though? Is he just? I don't want him to be a lawyer because it's too close to Saul Goodman.
When me and you, Jack, coming up with this idea the other day of a character who isn't a scientist, he doesn't know anything about, you know, vaccines or how to create them, and he somehow kind of stumbles upon creating a vaccine.
Well, he just accidentally mixes it together.
Yes, and like everyone's in turmoil. You know, like how the hell could this guy create this vaccine? And you've got all these scientists working on trying to create one, and they
maybe
can't.
He accidentally added chemical X. You know? Well, that's the thing. Like, what if it's in his DNA? It's like that would be the Deus Ex Machina as well at the end. Like, the cure was inside him.
It was inside him all along.
I kind of want it to go full dystopian kind of Cormac McCarthy, The Road. At one, but so like all the people who are immune become they become their own community, and they're kind of like the higher class of people. They're like living at large and luxury in their safe walled off city because they're like they're the immunes.
Maybe creating a new power balance.
They're the new elites in the world.
Yeah.
It's no longer the media class and the chat, you know, that kind of thing. It's no longer the bankers and the media class. It's the people who can't get sick. The immunes, you know, and that you could be from any walk of life, but now they're all together. They're the new elite.
Yeah. They do call it the Great Leveler, don't they?
Exactly. They do. Maybe that's the.
So with there being like a load of new elites, we're going to need our protagonist to be a bit of an
Yes, an underachiever.
An underachiever, an underdog.
He's kind of the character who stumbles into gold, you know.
Out of
nowhere.
He's a sort of average Joe. So we've got Bob Odenkirk playing Joe. Let's call him Joe because he's an average Joe. I'm sure that's very on the nose, but you know, we're providing a free pitch here to any director who wants to pick it up. Okay, so Joe, but okay, with regards to like is he like sent in some way? He's dispatched on some journey to find the cure. But at the end, he's going to realize, we can't at the ending first, but like, or at some point, he's going to realize that like the cure is inside of him. He's actually one of the immunes but I don't know, like a special one. Because, like, okay, so the immune people are just immune to the disease, whereas he actually has his DNA actively like cures it.
Okay,
So
that makes him even more powerful than the elite people. Who?
exactly, so he's a threat to them, and that's
Oh
going to be
right,
another source of conflict later down the line.
I like
So
that.
It also might not create peace but chaos because
mm,
everyone thinks that the government have been like, or the old kind of elite have been hiding what they know, what could have been the fix to it all along. But instead, it was just, he found out that he had the cure to it inside of him because he was immune. Could link it into what's going on with people's distrust of,
yeah, because I think that's such a weird thing at the moment where like I go out on my walks and I'll like wave to people and say hello, like good morning and that kind of thing. Because I think again, like so many other people, it's important to kind of keep up a good morale at the moment. Say hello to people when you're out, but at the same time, it like everyone's an enemy and everyone's a friend because like we're all in the same boat. Again, this virus doesn't discriminate and that kind of thing. Anyone can get it, so we're all in the same boat. We're all being asked to lock down and and completely change our way of life. But at the same time, we're all like a potential threat to each other as well. Like because
oh
again,
yeah,
anyone
I'm
can.
more scared of people
Yeah.
in this than the actual.
It's like that Littlefinger quote from Game of Thrones. Like everyone's your enemy, everyone's your friend. Uh,
Are you doing the voice?
I'm not going to do the
That was
voice.
spot on.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the voice though because even he can't keep a consistent voice throughout that series. Like at one point, I swear it's like Cockney, and then at the end it's just full blown Irish, like Sandra.
He's pretty consistent after season 3 though. I mean, it's season 1 to
It's consistently Irish, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so how does our protagonist Joe find himself in the situation? Because obviously he's not like a scientist and that kind of thing. So how is he sort of thrown into this? Um,
Blood test.
what's
Blood
his
test
call
from a
to
car
adventure?
crash. Blood transfusion or something.
Right. What happens to
Right.
him though that he needs that?
Okay, all right. Maybe he has a car crash, needs blood transfusion, and it comes from like someone who he doesn't know.
Yeah. Okay, no, I got it. Right. So, what if it's like the whole film is kind of like a chase. So, I like that idea. So he gets involved in a car crash or something like that, needs a blood transfusion, and then this like pandemic hits. And they just assume, like they put the hospital on lockdown because they're like, okay, everyone in here is going to get it now because there's been an outbreak on this ward. But then he doesn't get it, and he's like the only one who doesn't get it, and they're like, oh shit. So they like run some tests on him, and they're like, he's not, he can't get the virus, and not just that, like under the microscopes and all that. And this is where Morgan Freeman said, I don't understand it. His his blood seems to be fighting the disease, and I can't really do Morgan Freeman, but
It's good enough.
okay.
That was more than enough. I was so
I
impressed by
laid
that.
eyes on Joe. I didn't think much of him. He was a stiff drink of water. Um, so yeah, so Morgan Freeman could be like the doctor in this hospital who's like doing the microscope test, and he's just like his blood seems to be actually killing the virus instead of he's not just immune. He's his body's actually fighting killing the virus. And they're like, we can't let him leave. We need him to,
For tests.
not just test, but we need to basically cut him open, see what's going on. How do we use this for the rest of the population? It's like the harm principle, where it's like, look, it's one man against the world. So we like the doctors are like, look, we cut apart this one guy to save the rest of humanity, and he overhears this, and he's like, I'm getting out of here. And then after that,
Plays
it's
into the
possible.
going solo aspect as well.
Yes.
A lot of this is...
Well, he's got to meet, but after that, it just becomes like a road movie, and he like meets different people
trying to like
along the way. One of whom
Yeah,
is
him
Dwayne
as
the
well,
Rock
mate.
Johnson and Mark Wahlberg.
Two brothers.
Two brothers.
They're working out at a gym that's been on lockdown.
They're stuck in the gym. I love it. They've been trapped in. They own the gym, or they just go to the gym. They've been trapped in the gym the whole time.
I don't know, but they have to punch their way out of it.
Such a strange step in the adventure, but I love it.
What if it leaks to the world? Like the government they know about it after his test, and it kind of leaks, and he's kind of approached by everyone, or they try and find him. So he's kind of like, he wants to help everyone, but then there's a lot of manic nature to it.
They put his face up on the screens everywhere, and now he's no longer safe, no longer hidden. Just got to keep going.
Yeah. So how does he fight against that to help people, but at the same time, like, not be physically attacked by someone, because he's... Well, I guess he wouldn't be physically attacked, but I mean, you never know.
Obviously, society. Get the virus, so obviously that's not a risk for him. Yeah, it's kind of like, there's like a bounty out on him. That's the thing. Like, we're offering reward for this man.
Well, I mean, they're offering rewards at the minute for any company that comes up with some sort of information.
Exactly. So they offer like a huge bounty to catch this guy, bring him in.
I mean, and then there's the question of, surely one life can be spared. I mean, surely one life can be taken to spare the lives of millions.
Wow, that's in philosophy, the harm principle, I think. For me, that kind of, it comes to, I think we should make this a very deeply philosophical film. Where we discuss this, like, is it ever okay to take one life for the sake of the world? That could be like the message of the movie.
Of course, they could fake his death, couldn't they? They could fake his death and say he died in a car crash.
To what end? Or is it just so they can like harvest him?
So they can actually do the cover up.
Difficult. There's a lot of layers to this. I love it.
A lot of layers.
I think we need to see how this whole situation ends as well, because it's hard to kind of get an ending to this kind of idea.
God, there might be
getting some ideas in this time frame,
Yeah, that's why we're this cool. I mean, I know we're doing a podcast here, but I think we're doing I'm going to upload this, whatever. But that's the thing. It's good to just sort of come together and just get some ideas out, and I miss talking like this sort of creatively and meeting up with people regularly, and even at work, I'd have chances just to get I think that's why I'm in a bit of a slump at the moment, because I'm not as active and not seeing as many people, and it's really everyday things that happen to me. That's what sort of inspires my work.
I'm looking forward to seeing people again.
Yeah. No,
sure.
Really. Even if it means like standing, far away from them and that kind of thing. I really want to see my parents as well.
Where are you, far away or like?
Well, not that far away. Really, it's a matter of miles. Obviously, with the lockdown, I can't just pop out and see them.
Yeah, of course.
But my dad's of the sort of very vulnerable category, so I think he's going to be inside for a while. So that's hard. Not being able to see him and my mum as well, and the family, my grandparents as well, obviously inside for a while. But again, call them and see what's going on. It's obviously harder for them than it is for me. So
yeah,
that's what it is. But I think we really need some sort of real kitchen sink moments in this film to we have to remember the human aspect of all of this.
I like myself a good slice of life drama.
So, you like some Shane Meadows, some Ken Loach?
Like Shane Meadows. I like some Ken Loach. If I was gonna have this character, I would very much want him to be kind of part of like working class Britain.
Yes. Well, even though it's Bob Odenkirk.
Even though it's Bob Odenkirk,
you could put on an English accent, surely.
No.
I'd love to see that actually.
I
think she'd go to Britain at some point. I think. Well, actually, it kind of makes sense because the US is now the epicenter. Kind of, they had the most like cases and everything, so it kind of makes sense for it to be in America. It might as well be in the most extreme.
But But per capita, I wonder what the stats are.
I think even per capita, or maybe that's Italy. Italy's
They
bad.
passed Italy, didn't they?
Well, they passed Italy in terms of cases, but in terms
cases, yeah.
in terms of like per million or something. Because if you go on this worldometer stuff, there's like cases like per million, and I think Italy is still above that, above the US in that regard, because obviously there are fewer people. Something like 70 million or less than that, 50 million or something like that in Italy. So it is technically worse in terms of percentage of the population than like places like the US.
So it did hit Italy first, didn't it? It hit them really bad.
It hit them really bad, and then Spain really badly, and then US, and then us. We're kind of catching up to some of the others, but we'll see. See what's going on. Okay, yeah. So after he escapes hospital, and he goes on the road, and then gets outed, and then they put a bounty out on his head. So after all that, then he somehow he has to sort of make his way. Where is he going, I wonder?
Well, I can't tell if he's going to find a place and settle down and hide, or
less
have
affected
to keep moving.
Maybe into like the country.
Maybe he's going to the UK.
Maybe he's going to the UK. Yeah.
Stephen Fry, I don't know. He gets in touch. He's just like, I know you're the cure. If you come to us, we won't hurt you.
Question though, how's he going to fly?
It's true. Just have to walk it, mate.
Maybe it takes a one-man rowing boat.
He takes a boat.
He just takes a kayak and he
takes a kayak and he's like, dude, I'm gonna break a world record in the process as well. Don't even care.
We have a whole bit around the Bermuda Triangle where he just goes
with this whole
back himself.
We've got to set up a sequel as well. So like you have to have all these little elements come in, like the Bermuda Triangle, and then
I'm thinking he meets like an island of elves in the Bermuda Triangle.
It's like George Lucas making a prequel.
Save him at the end.
That's like gone missing. All the planes are there, and they're just being used as houses.
I tell you what, you could have a club scene. You could have a club scene in the film, a bit like John Wick.
With no one in it because COVID-19 has happened, so obviously like, there's no.
Yeah, but this is like just when it starts.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's standing exactly 2 meters apart. I don't think it'd have the same effect.
They're shuffling from side to side like robots, just always making sure they're 2 meters apart. A mosh pit where everyone has to be 2 meters apart.
I'm just imagining John Wick during COVID-19, and I'm just like, I can't really imagine like Alfie Allen running through that crowd in the club, and he gets through absolutely fine. Like he actually manages to get away perfectly fine.
Okay, so how do The Rock and Mark Wahlberg, how did they get involved in this? So they're like trapped in a gym, and like it got closed down when they were in the locker room, and they come out of the locker room and everyone's just gone, and like, what's going on here? Huh? What's going on? and then like like Joe has to take refuge there. He's hiding from everyone outside because the mob are after him. They want to get that bounty, and he goes into the gym. He thinks he's alone there, and then like The Rock and Mark Wahlberg are there. And he's like, no, please, don't give me over. And they're like, hey, don't worry, okay, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna, and they help him sort of fight their way out. And it's just you just got 5 straight minutes of like Dwayne Johnson and Mark Wahlberg just kicking ass, just punching all these people away. Like one punch, they just go flying. They're just punching all of them. And they've got that perfect kind of glistening sweat on them, like movie sweat. But it kind of looks like they're covered in baby oil.
What film were they in? Weren't they in like a joint?
Oh, I can't even remember.
Oh.
At least we can catch up on all the films now.
I mean, that could be a reference.
Yeah, can we just make a load of references to things that got cancelled? Like,
Oh,
well, there is a similar story.
Bond was the first, I think. James Bond. Time to Die.
Bond. Oh, No Time to Die. It's time to get cancelled. Isn't there? That's what we should just nick that title since it's not being used at the moment.
No Time to Die.
I mean, we've got to be the first ones to drop a film when the movie industry reopens, because then we'll be responsible for bringing it back to life.
Yeah, we would technically
dead.
We were technically the people that brought cinema back.
Although saying that, takeaways are thriving. I got to say.
Takeaways are thriving. The one around like the corner from me is great, but it's really weird to go and order now. Like,
Very
they
interesting.
pass
So
it out before.
I got a delivery the other day, and the guy's standing at the end of the front garden at the gate, and he's standing there with the bag. I'm thinking, do I have to go out to him and go get it?
Mm-mm.
So I go forwards, and he opens this bag very slowly. I'm imagining like dry ice coming out of it, and he just
he has to like unlock it, like he has to turn it counterclockwise. It's just and then yeah, like the dry ice.
exactly, and he just kind of handed it to me like, well, he didn't hand it to me. I kind of grabbed it, um, and then yeah, it was just kind of it was like he was giving me a bomb or something. It was
Just
really
snaps
cool.
it, scuttle back into your house like it's
Like Kiefer Sunderland in 24 or Sutherland. I think.
Kiefer Sutherland as a delivery driver. I love that. That's like Bruce
No, we
Willis
need
or
that. We
something.
need that in the film. We just have a load of like celebrities doing like weird cameos. Like so Kiefer Sutherland's like a delivery driver. Okay, so they after they escape the gym and they're out now. That's I think when they need to like be moving forward, and then they come across like the village of the elite, the immunes. It's like the village of the undamned.
Yeah.
The,
It's like the end of Bird Box, sounds like.
I
hate that film, but
I'm not gonna. That's the one thing I'm not gonna watch in lockdown.
I love Bird Box.
Why?
Why?
It's
Isn't it
right,
a quiet place with
I didn't see A Quiet Place
and
first.
the happening like together, basically?
I didn't see A Quiet Place first. I haven't seen it still.
It's all right.
God, you go. It's all right.
No, I really enjoyed it. I love John Malkovich.
Oh, I love John Malkovich. To be fair, let's have him in the film as well.
We haven't got any females.
It'd be like the Red
John
Group teaming
Malkovich.
up
I
for a
think
third film.
John Malkovich should be like the guy who owns the gym. And when they're punching their way out, they're like, "Are you gonna come with us, boss?" Like, no, someone's gotta take care of the gym, and that's like the last we see of him. Like, we just assume he's there at the gym, like helping things tick over.
I can see
Literally
him in
creating a living, breathing world, of different places. It's like Game of Thrones, but in the real world. It's kind of subtle down.
Should we just make this a series then? I don't know. This is going to be or is it's just going to be it's going to be like a 4-hour film. It's going to be longer than like Ben-Hur and Return of the King, with something like half the budget.
King Kong.
Yeah, longer than King Kong. Like, well, I don't know. I think the Bermuda Triangle stuff we could definitely save for the sequel. Like COVID-20. Or Coronavirus 2 Electric Boogaloo. And that was like set in Bermuda. Right, okay. So then they go after that. They run in with the immunes. I think the immunes need to start turning on each other. We also just need to hire like really perfect actors, like perfect looking actors, even though they're like all immune. Like at the same time, I think we should have that weird kind of Aryan subtext where they think they're superior to everyone. So I want like really good looking actors, like I don't know, like Matthew Good and Orlando Bloom,
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, just smooth faced people, like almost vampire like. And then there has to be like a big fight that goes down there before I don't know they either escape or someone helps them get out. And now it's and I think they should nab. Everywhere they go, they get like a new team member. So by the time they like finally get to wherever it is they're going, I don't know, like a research base that's gonna help them extrapolate the cure safely from his DNA without killing him. And it's led by Stephen Fry, and they've just got to get to him. Yeah.
The third act, you've got people trying to get in to the facility or wherever they're doing it. Maybe, I don't know, the government.
Yeah, we can have a standoff between.
So you've got standoff between
Morgan Freeman versus Stephen Fry.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it will come down to. That's the poster. It's just those two opposite each
They're
other.
like kind of
The
echoed in
Sith
the
Lord,
background,
like,
just their faces, like Thanos.
yeah. But yeah, so we have that massive showdown and everything, but then you also have to have like a betrayal as well. So I think maybe the immune person they've taken, who are they played by? We've got to have someone like
Josh Hutcherson.
yeah, sod it, why not? Giving up.
Peter.
Like at this point in the production, I was like, "No, sod it. Anyone could be in it now. Just Josh on it. We'll just have terrible.
Anyone would want to get involved with this. I mean,
that's another thing. Actually, should we just have terrible people like who are good looking but are terrible actors, like in the Immunes camp? So we just have like Jai Courtney, Hayden Christensen, Josh Harnett, Justin Timberlake. No, he's.
well, I mean, he's great in
I tell you
Social
what,
Network.
we'll have Justin Timberlake as one of them, but he's the one that joins the crew. So we have someone who's kind of tolerable, who's not like amazing, but still tolerable, and then he can be like the double crosser at the end. So it's like I was working for them the whole time, you know. We got Jared Leto as the immune guy.
I mean, he won't even be there. He was climbing rocks while this was already, going on. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't want all that.
Jared Leto, he was like climbing or meditating somewhere, and he didn't know about the coronavirus for like 3 weeks before, coming back.
Imagine that. Imagine like waking up from a coma, like if we did the 28 days later angle, and like waking up from like a coma at the moment. He was like, "What the hell is going on?" Like waking up in a hospital ward. It's like, why is everyone freaking out in this hospital ward? And it's just like,
well, episode 1 of The Walking Dead.
Oh, bro, you don't know. And, like,
He just wakes up from his coma. He wakes up from his coma and he's like, "Oh, you know what? I could kill a Big Mac."
Oh no! Get me a bargain bucket. I could murder a bargain bucket.
I'm sorry, sir.
Or they wake him up. It's like, have Liverpool won the league yet? Like, bro.
The only positive out of all of this.
Well, the Liverpool
that ain't winning the league so far.
That is very Liverpool, to be fair, to come all this way and it's like, sorry guys. What is it this time? National pandemic, innit? Like global pandemic, innit?
It wasn't a slip this time.
Can't be done.
Coronavirus.
Maybe it was all to do with that conspiracy theory time.
Was it Arsenal who are behind all this, or Man U? They're just behind all this, all an elaborate way to get Liverpool to lose the title.
And they had Arteta get the virus to make it look like it wasn't them.
Yeah. So I can't be
the manager.
He's got it, man. He's got it. So,
Yeah. Nah, that's
fake news. Maybe it was Jared Leto. He's like, "Oh, I just came back from, meditating and everything was happening." It's like, really? Where have you been? It's like, nowhere. He hasn't been at a secret base in the mountains all this time,
I mean, he normally is, so.
Exactly. What's he up to?
Makes sense.
What is he up to?
He's probably building a space rocket so that he can be 30 seconds to Mars.
Oh, very funny.
Isn't that a guy from Blink 182? Is it Blink 182? Or someone who left? Or is it Simple Plan? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That's a lot of blasts from the past right there. So
someone from one of them bands left and now trying to build something to go to Mars, I think.
You talking about Tom DeLonge?
Yeah, is that him? Yeah.
I was for a moment just thinking, was Elon Musk in Sum 41 or Blink 182?
I'm not good with them. My cup of tea.
Yeah, no, he speaks to aliens. He released like loads of albums.
Oh my god, I know about that. Yeah, I'm remembering that now.
Right, so I kind of had an idea of a way to bring aliens into this. So I was thinking like they release a toxic fog or something, and it basically just kind of covers a certain area at a certain time, kind of like just like normal weather, but there's weather that kills you.
Okay.
And yeah, it just kind of goes around the world, and we just follow it as it goes, and how people prepare for it and things like that.
So we've got another thing to worry about: alien fog.
Yeah.
COVID. So my idea for the alien part, I think we should just have a throwaway gag or like some aliens are about to like come to Earth, and like and then they just notice everything that's going on. Like, oh no, God,
It'll be like Geostorm.
let's go back.
Did you watch Geostorm?
Yeah, I thought it was
Is that
dreadful.
Emmerich?
I think he produced it, didn't he?
Oh, I think he's just behind all of them. He's probably behind all this now. This is the next stage in cinema. It's like super realism because it's actually happening.
It's going to be like after the war. Like,
Life right now is directed by Roland Emmerich. To bring us back, what is the ending to this movie? How does this end? So obviously they reach the research base, fight between Morgan Freeman and Stephen Fry. You have the double crossing of who are we having? Are we having Justin Timberlake or who are we having?
why not?
Immune guy. Sod it, yeah. So we have Justin Timberlake, he's betraying them. Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne The Rock Johnson are there. Don't really know what they're doing. Maybe one of them dies in the other's arms, and it's like some big emotional.
Yeah, I think they should both die together.
Yeah,
it's like Donnie Yen and what's his name off Rogue One. You can have that kind of sequence.
Yeah, man. They should take out the bad guy. They should take out Justin Timberlake together, and they all die at the same time. And Joe finally gets the cure extrapolated. And then they finally have it ready to go, and then they get reports of like, oh, it's ended. The coronavirus is over, mate. Whilst all this has been going on, it's like, oh, it's actually just died out.
But then you can have an Inception-like ending where there's like, this last frame that makes you rethink that ending.
Yeah, because the report comes from CNN, so you're like, is that a lie? Fake news.
The last shot
It comes from China. It comes from China. That's the thing at the end. China announces like, no, coronavirus is no more, and you're just like, It's an open ending because that could be bullshit.
It can be rewatched, just like Inception, rewatchable.
Exactly.
I can genuinely see a headline where it's just China says coronavirus is no more.
Didn't even get around to seeing like Tarantino's version of this film. It just start with the cure is feet or something.
What do you build up to?
It's build up. It's just
like 2.5 hours of build up.
2.5 hours of build up, and then at the end, then the pandemic breaks out. It's just like everyone turns into zombies. It's like a proper.
It's a bit like from Dusk Till Dawn.
I was literally you beat me by 1 second. It's because I've had 2 glasses of cider. It's literally a till dusk till dawn. Oh, I love it. I love this film we've made.
If that doesn't inspire creativity,
just do an animation. I mean, if we're going to stay inside for months, just do an animation of it. Of like all these famous actors.
We can. Everyone could just submit their lines via Skype or just recording or something. Yeah, let's do it.
What about stop motion?
We haven't even talked about Tiger King. Like,
Jono, I haven't even watched it, but I've heard.
Jono, please do a video series on Tiger King. We can do it together. I mean, that can be our collaboration. Like, we'll just do a mega review of like.
Fair. I'll have to watch it, but I'd be down.
Yeah. Let's do it then. Just do, I don't know, some drunk analysis of like Tiger King.
Please do this. Please do this on your channels. I will love this forever.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Jack?
Get in on this.
Well, I'd have to watch Tiger King as well.
You haven't watched Tiger King, Jesus.
I haven't actually watched Tiger King. I've been hard at work on my community rewatch.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I'll give you that. But like,
Plus, I'm struggling to keep up with so many different shows.
I have no idea what I'm going to do on my channel after Better Call Saul and Westworld finish.
Oh God,
it's just going to be dead, isn't it, for months?
It's going to make up shows. Just like this is how I imagine season 4
Citizen
of Westworld
Kane
going. Yeah, sod it. Just do like old stuff, man. Just do stuff that's already come about. Like,
yeah, you may as well just do old stuff.
Find some hidden gems. Do like mini series, like where you can just do a mega review. I don't know, like a Chernobyl. Have you seen Watchmen on HBO?
I watched the first episode, and
amazing.
I didn't get round to finishing it.
I've just read the graphic novel of Watchmen, like literally just finished it in the last couple of days, so that I can watch the film and then the TV show.
Nice. Although, to be fair, the TV show follows on from the comic, the graphic novel, rather than the film, because there are obviously differences. So it's like a straight sequel to the book, not the film. The TV.
Maybe I'll watch the TV show first then.
context. But yeah, no, I genuinely think we should do it. I don't even do reviews and analyses that often. I'm thinking of branching into it.
Totally
Like
should.
Jono always seem to have so much fun doing it. So, and I do talk about these things on end anyway, so I might as well just record myself.
Go
That's
for
pretty
it.
much how the
I
podcast started.
definitely say to do that. I think you've got a great mind for film, and I think you've shown it in this. Even though we kind of brainstormed a fantasy plot line for
COVID-19
COVID-19.
movie. Yeah.
No, but I think you'd be great. I think you should definitely merge into that.
Oh, I'll have a look because there's some serious again. Yeah, I've been watching some stuff and getting re-watching some old stuff. I think I need to return to my roots really because I've branched in. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I've branched into all these other different kind of things about like politics and philosophy and literature and mythology and all this kind of stuff. But I miss just straight talking film and TV and all of that. So yeah, I think it's.
The world is a toy box. You've got to have fun while you're in it.
Who's that? Who's that quote by? I got chills. Who's that by? Is that Jono? Is that Jono Pitwell?
That's a Jono quote.
Oh my God.
Is that just pure Jono?
Jono Pitwell 2020. That'll be on a little plaque one day.
I'm so pumped for that.
That will be your epitaph.
It's really, really nice hearing you guys talking about like your potential YouTube series and stuff. I'm really not brave enough to do it.
We'll do some.
YouTube's the great. Again, it's like the great equalizer. There's so much crap and there's so much good stuff as well. So it's like you shouldn't be embarrassed because there's just so much content on there that, to be honest, you're yesterday's news at some point.
Yeah, true.
If I watch someone's video, then I'll watch a video by another person. But then again, I have this. I think once you start, I'm not on Jono's level. I mainly do podcasts and stuff like that, but since I've been doing them, I do have this sort of profound respect for YouTube creators, no matter what they put up, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
At the end of the day, you've tried and you've done something, you've made something, you've put it out there for all to see. So even that, again, YouTube is the creator's realm. It's the people who are going to have the most respect for the platform are going to be the people who are creating. All the people who just genuinely, just respect the craft or just respect the platform. But no, it's great.
It's another, way of getting people to get their voice out, whether it's through film, whether it's through I don't know, politics or anything really.
But therein lies the challenge as well, because it is, again, it's another great equalizer. We all have the tools now to put stuff online and to be creators. So now there's this whole obsession around there's this whole obsession around finding your niche. Niche is a word that comes up again and again because it's okay, anyone can make videos and a lot of people can make quality videos, but what is it that keeps bringing people back time and time again, for that content?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I was going to say for me it's June, Tenet, Westworld, and Better Call Saul. They're the ones at the minute.
I stopped watching Westworld. Well, I haven't seen season 3, so maybe I'll get on that.
It's getting good now. Started a bit, unbalanced.
I still liked it in the sort of season 1, and in season 2, I think
I defend season 2.
Well, the second half was kind
of.
I didn't hate it. That's the thing. Again, I'm a massive fan of the Westworld film. That was the first thing I saw, and I think that was great, to watch first before the actual series came out. Because I remember I just came across it on Sky Movies one night. I'll give this a watch because the show looked good. At that point, the trailer had dropped to the show, and it was that looks pretty cool. I'm going to watch that. But then, the film, I saw the film on there. I was that looks, I'll give it a watch to give some context. And I love that film. I love the original Westworld film.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's like Terminator before Terminator. And no, I think it's brilliant. It's such an it's such a hidden gem.
Yeah.
People don't don't rave about it, and I don't understand.
A lot of films afterwards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can see so many films that have been directly influenced by Westworld, and it's just why do we not rave about that film? Why is that never on top 10 lists or anything really? Why is that not discussed more? Because that's a great film.
It really should be.
Mm.
It's a brilliant film. I've always, well, I say I've always liked it. I've only seen it once, but
I haven't
I
seen
watched
it,
it
but I might
once.
rewatch it during lockdown. I've got the big lockdown playlist now. Uh, anyway, guys, probably time we choose to a close. I really need the toilet. I need to get some dinner as well. It's nearly 10 o'clock. But I've loved talking to you guys, and
It's
um,
been a pleasure.
it's been an
Yeah.
absolute pleasure, and I'm really glad that you guys are keeping sane and keeping up the same old interests and everything like that. Um, Again, COVID-19, the movie is there if anyone wants to give us some funding. But no, it's been absolutely great talking to you guys. I can't wait to see what you guys get up to in the coming weeks and months.
I'm personally looking forward to your upcoming Tiger King series.
Hell yeah.